Hello, all you crazy friends of ours. We're so happy you came back again to watch another video. This is what I did for our kitchen, and I'll show our dining room too. But I took out Pyrex, glass bake casseroles and bowls and ice-lip pitchers up there. And we have pressed glass, depression glass pieces, and some of it is uranium glass too. So I'll show you all of that out in the kitchen here. But first I think I'd like to start with the dining room. Before I start showing you some of the dining room things for March, I'd like to mention the fact that we are very fortunate to be gaining more subscribers every day, and it is a dilemma to me to know what I should be repeating in my videos, because there's so many people that will be seeing it for the first time. So I hope those of you that have been with us for a very long time, and I thank you so much for that, I hope you will be forgiving that I am showing some of the same things again. But I hope to inspire new subscribers to stay with us and new viewers that haven't decided whether to subscribe or not. So thank you so much for letting me repeat some things. I already had received a pretty negative comment because I didn't show more of my kitchen shelving previously. I felt kind of bad, but you know, it's just because I know that I've shown it so many times. If you are a new subscriber, I would ask if you think that you missed something that I wasn't showing very well, to please look back on my old kitchen videos where you would be able to hopefully see that item or items again. Thank you so much. This is a vintage tablecloth that I just ironed. No matter how high you have your iron and how much steam you use, these old linen tablecloths never really look all that pressed, but it is a pretty one. Just last week I did a living room video and I had mentioned that I have this lime green planter, vintage, nice cornucopia, horn of plenty, with lovely fruit in it, in a lime green that I found not too long ago, but I was happy just last month to find the dark green one also. So I'm glad I found that. It was a really reasonable price, so I couldn't resist. I have some different mugs over there in our vintage cabinet that someone handmade. It's a very small little hutch, nice cocoa brown laminate, and I did talk about it in most of my dining room videos. But I have quite a bit of milk glass, as most of you know. I brought up a different couple sets of creamers and sugars. Now that it is closer to spring, I decided to show you these very large, fancy pear motif, creamer and sugar. I don't know who made a lot of those, but it's pretty hard to keep track of all that. And then this pair I did show in my last, probably February video, where I had cherries showing, and I realized at the time that the lids were turned around, so the bottom was cherries and the top was grapes, and vice versa on the other one. So I realized that one side of this set is grapes and the other side is cherries. So that's pretty cool. So I've got the grape side showing right now. I have shown these fun favorite set of vintage glasses before, and most likely the last time would have been our fall video. But I wanted to show all thrifted vases, little Avon bottles, and these little wine goblets. I did post a picture of them on Instagram last week. I found this old glittered candle ring. Pretty bright, limey, well, they're not so limey, but they're very bright green leaves on them, so they just really looked like my March theme to me rather than Christmas, because the leaves are not holly leaves, they're just regular leaves. So I thought they went really well, but it is one large candle ring that I cut in half. That's what I do with these old candle rings. I find them very cheaply and I cut them in half, so I have much more fun working with two halves than one crazy big pillar candle ring. The end ones are E.O. Brody vases, pressed glass. These are old Avon bottles. And the middle one could be Anchor Hocking, I think I had said in my Instagram post. And down here, I've had this for quite a while, this beautiful green apothecary. I think I got it for only $8. And I was quite shocked that it was so cheap. But after I got it home, I realized that it's not quite straight. But all you have to do, the side that's leaning a little tiny bit, just face it to the back. No one knows but you and I, right? And this is a fun little hobnail. Little bowl. Not sure what you would use it for. Just flowers, I suppose. But I want to share these really cool mugs. I only found 2 of these. They're quite large, very tall. And I only found 3 of those. Bright green leaves on them. And these are wonderful, bright green flowers and butterflies. So 70s. So I enjoy looking at them when I'm sitting at the kitchen table. A lot of you have already seen that I have a very lovely collection of the friendship pattern Pyrex. My brother gave me most of it. So you see, it's not me spending a lot of money on all of this. You would not believe the large quantity of Pyrex that my brother has gifted to me. He had them in his home on display in a den in his office area. It's right off the kitchen. It probably was meant to be a little dining room, but he doesn't use it for that. So he just is downsizing and doesn't know if he'll end up in an apartment. I want to show you the large, what are they, like 30 cup? Is that what those really big servers are? I have had this for many, many years since I started looking for vintage 60s, 70s cute kitchen things. And it's full of vintage Easter items for the kitchen, like cake toppers and cake pokes and just a bunch of things like that I just keep in there for the fun of it. So let me get up off the floor here so I can show you this lovely compote that I found this past summer. This is such a fancy, huge tray. I'm already forgetting the name of it. I got it for 99 cents, I think, at Bibles for Missions. It is not scratched up. That is a whole fruit scene in the middle there. And it is so big, I wanted to prop it up in back of this compote, but it really didn't work. Didn't work over there. Didn't work in my kitchen. It's really, really big. So I just decided to put it on top here. Those two are thrifted oranges. They were like 49 cents each. A whole bag of pears I thrifted, all of that from Bibles for Missions, including this gorgeous uranium glass compote. It had evidently just been sat out in their window at Bibles for Missions. Has a nice foot on it. And when I saw it, I have never been attracted to satin glass, but it is uranium glass. It would show up, of course, really nicely in the dark, but you can see it really glows. I believe it was marked something like $2.99. Norm actually thought this looked pretty nice here. It's pretty fancy. Yeah, I mean, I've got milk glass one sitting there most of the year. So this was a real nice, refreshing change to have a green. Very pretty. I found these three over quite a few years. The last one I found was this small one. I knew immediately that I just had to get it. It was also very, very reasonable. I had this one on the left first, and then happy to find the other one, and the fact that it's totally different shape, big on top and not on bottom, was perfect. But what's so cute about this little one, I don't think I've ever run across this before, is that this is actually a little shot glass. Maybe some of you are very familiar with that sort of thing. I sure didn't know that. I was going to ask you, when looking at this, if you could spot what you thought might be a uranium glass pitcher. It's not the two little Fenton hobnail vases here that are olive green. There's one on the top shelf and one on the bottom shelf here. And a little variety of glass pitchers. I wouldn't have guessed any of these three items up here. But I had asked Norm if he thought he knew which one. He pointed out the middle shelf, middle large green one. Now I wouldn't have necessarily guessed that, and I'm pretty sure when I bought it I did not realize that this is uranium glass. So Norm's got the light, black light here, and he was testing them out.
Oh, that one's
and
got some.
That one must have some in it. It's not quite the one we were thinking of, like he said, the middle one up there.
That one looks like a little bit.
It's weird that some of them have a little bit of a glow, but look at the difference in that one.
That is loaded.
So that one, yeah, has really got uranium in it. That one is a limey green.
What's the deal with that?
Yeah, we don't know why that turns so red.
Wow, that's reddish orange.
Very reddish color.
Let's go up to the top.
And see.
I wouldn't think that would be, or that one, but I don't know.
But see, now that one gets a very odd glow too, so I don't know about those, if they would be considered to have some of it in them or not.
This one in the middle here is...
But see the difference? That's really...
That is loaded.
Yeah, that's really bright.
I'm surprised that's...
Big difference, and we've got all the lighting on in here too.
I'm surprised that doesn't glow when we turn the light out.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That, I've never seen...
Red like that. That is very odd. And that's the one you would almost guess because it was a lime green.
Wow.
Very pale chartreuse green.
Wow, okay.
Quit shining the light on. I'm trying to show him the color of it. Go away.
Okie dokie.
It's just more typical of like a Vaseline look, but it is not.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good to have a little black light with you, a purse size, which I have. Half the time it's in the car. I don't know why that one is.
That's crackle glass too, kind of.
Yeah, it's shaped just like the big one.
But that one there.
Yeah. So I hope that didn't bore you too much, but I just wanted to share the green glass, and then I thought, wow, that's kind of fun. We should really show that you never know. I'm sure I didn't pay very much for that one in the middle, and a lot of times thrift stores don't always know what they have. Just like I said, they couldn't possibly have known that this was uranium glass compote down here.
Are your oranges?
No.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, see, now that we're in, oh, I'm sorry, I bumped my cart here, but now that I don't have the bright daylight coming in here, you can sure tell a difference. I don't think the thrift store that I got this at knew for just $2.99, I think it was. Just crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Really wild. I wanted to show you a lovely spring ambiance video that I happened to find. It's got very relaxing music, and it's fun watching these darling little crocus plants in speeded up motion, all poking out of the ground. It's very pretty. I have to show this at an angle because I was getting very funny lines on the television. It seems like whenever there was white snow showing, I got all these crazy rainbow colored lines. But this is very pretty. I will leave the description of it, this lovely video and music, in my description underneath my video. Isn't that pretty? Very nice. So I'm showing it at quite an angle here. I was going to have it playing when I was talking about these bottles, but that didn't work out. Norm wanted me to show you this very cool mid-century modern shelf that we found a couple summers ago in an antique shop. It is three-legged, and it's so nice and narrow that we decided it would work very well. If you can see where the edge of our kitchen countertop is here, it doesn't stick out much at all. So what we did with it, which makes it extremely useful and handy for us, is to put some bins, little plastic bins that we found at Target in black. They're very nicely made, and they have a basket weave on them. So we have two on each shelf. On the bottom shelf one, we have it full of extra package of napkins because we keep running out of napkins at the kitchen table. So all Norm does is turn around and reach for that bin. I have my vitamins on the top shelf in one bin. Norm has his vitamins, and I know that may sound crazy, but we take a lot of vitamins. We don't have any prescriptions, fortunately, but we have a lot of supplements, and they come in big bottles, so it's very handy to have those there too. I decided, so you could see the nice Formica top on them, to just put some of my pretty milk glass bowls on there with some grape clusters, old grape clusters. So this is the very cool gold pattern that looks like a snowflake on the top. It looks like it might be two-tone specks on there, lighter ones and darker ones, but these are some of my fun milk glass bowls that I found over the past few years. So he didn't know what I was going to do with it. He hesitated because it was over $100. She knew she had a very cool piece. I do not understand what this H is. It may be that little, could be a stainless steel little extra disc on top of there. And a C over here, or they could even be possibly reversed. We really didn't know, but Norm took it all apart. He restained the legs and cleaned it up really well, because if you can imagine, it just really was not clean, and all of the edges that are not Formica, they're just a creamy off-white. He repainted all of that. So it's really sweet and very, very helpful to us. We just love it. This is the kind of countertop, of course, that many people have, where it's supposed to be extended for little stools. But we have never needed anything like that. So this is much cooler to us and very, very useful. So finally, I got around to showing that to you. I have not done that in all of my kitchen videos that I've done. I know this takes a lot longer to show extra things like this. Over here in the corner of my kitchen, close to the patio door that we go out, I got these two mid-century pottery, olive green and brownish. Not really a very pretty color combination to me. My brother had these and he gave them to me. He's given me quite a few rooster things. He was crazy for rooster things and has quite a collection still in his home. But I did decide I wanted to make their features, the special features of their crown and beak and foot, show up with some metallic gold paint. They are very odd, but I never finished the hen, but I do want you to see and ask you what you think. I think the one with the gold on it just looks more glamorous to me. And not that roosters and chickens are glamorous, but you know I like things accented with gold. And I think they're just showier that way. So let me know what you think, if you would have left them alone. And over here, I could not believe, for just a few dollars at the Goodwill this past summer, I was just getting ready to leave. Norm already had gone out to the car and he didn't think I had found anything, but I just kept looking. One more aisle. I went down the floral aisle and here was this beautiful drip glaze, what I think I would consider drip glaze. Pretty, pretty springy green pitcher. I could not believe it. It just looks so springy. I just couldn't resist it for that price. So when I got home and I got the tag off, I was quite surprised because the bottom is stamped Royal Hager, USA. So I thought for $3.99, I got a real deal. This tray was also just a couple weeks ago at Bibles for Missions for 99 cents. It was a tag on top of a tag that said $1.99. They had 4 of them. I was going to get all 4. They are in beautiful condition. Just beautiful. And Norm kind of thought, what are you going to do with them? And I just thought, well, it's a set. Why break up a set? But I felt guilty and I put back the other 3. So then he felt guilty when we got home and said, do you want me to go back and get the rest of them for you? And I said, no, not now. Too late. All I need is one to show, and that way 3 other people can have one to show off, right? Up here, I tried to find some old planters that had green on them. I've thrifted them at different couple, 2-3 years. This one was last year. These two, one was last year, the Swan, the other one was the year before, and this one was just last year. So they're fairly new to me, but all very cute, and I thought, well, it's a little green, a little something to show you there. Over here, I just found this very cool apothecary jar. It is not round, it is more square. Very different than the ones I'd been finding that I was looking for, filling with candy for a Christmas or Valentine video. So this one was much different. Sorry, I had glare in it there. And I had some of my leftover M&M's mint, big pieces of mint candies that were perfect to put in it. But that was at the Goodwill, and it was a splurge for $5, but I thought it was great. This I just found for, I think, $12, for something a little fun to show you. I don't recall seeing anything on the bottom. I could check it and put it in the video. At the bottom, a little note if I do find there's a mark on the bottom, but the holes in him, I am assuming he is for hors d'oeuvres. I don't know. Can you tell me? Are you supposed to put the hors d'oeuvre on it, the toothpick, and then stick the toothpick in there? Or just put all the toothpicks in this pig and put your hors d'oeuvres out on a tray? I really don't know. And those holes look pretty tight. I like him just the way he is. Very, very cute, all dressed up with a bow tie. He's pretty funny, and a hat. I couldn't resist him for $12. That was just a month or so ago in an antique shop not too far from us. I found this little guy last year. He's probably a little hobbyist piece. So cute. And this was my, boy, I forget again. This was so ridiculously cheap. It's a Fenton Snowcrest emerald green planter. I have shown it in my Christmas kitchen video. I'm sure I told the price there, but it was absolutely crazy cheap. I don't think they knew what they had. So there's one of Norm's favorite candies. He's trying not to eat candy like that, but he still had a little stash I found. Okay, let's go over and check out some of the Pyrex and glass bake and glassware items that I've found for many, many years. Thrifting. I was able to find these sets of leaf ivy patterned. I think this on the right could be Hazel Atlas. This is a 1961 Bride's Promotional Casserole by Pyrex. I was quite surprised when I found out what it was. I was just lucky to come across it somewhere. I don't know where. I doubt that it was thrifted. I probably did purchase that one at an antique shop. I don't know. Hard for me to remember because I did start collecting all of this a long time ago. Some more of the spring blossom. I love finding the very tiny casseroles. They are really easy to use for Norm and I, just wanting a vegetable if you want to put it in the microwave, or even splitting a potato and putting it in there in the microwave. It works really great. Wrap up a potato after washing it good, poke some holes in it, wrap it up in a wet paper towel and put it in the microwave. It comes out great. I just can't find the name of this pattern. I didn't turn these two over, but boy, they sure are pretty common in the thrift stores. I see them all the time. I know I had these too, so I don't keep buying any more of them, and they do tend to be this rectangular shape. Maybe you know what the name of it is. Just don't know why I'm not finding it. I did a quick look for it here, but crazy that it's so common. This I found quite a few years ago. It's just called a friendship bird, and I would have loved to have found more of those. This is looking very dark. It is definitely an olive green. I don't know why my phone is showing it so dark, but it is. So this has many, many shapes and pieces that I don't know if they're a little rare or what, but I sure don't run across them. I found this in an antique shop for $9. It was a very small shop way out in the country, so I guess I was pretty lucky. Looks like there's a little scratch there on one of the leaves, but I could have turned it around to see if the other side was better. But yeah, I'm very happy to have that, and I should tell you that is by Federal. So that is the bottom row here. And the nice refrigerator dishes down there. I think this is called Verdi. So many of those pieces I've found in thrift stores. This past year I really did find the spring blossom sets. Wow, I could not believe it. That whole set there in the round bowls, and this whole set way down in the end in the Cinderella bowls. Just amazing. And even that huge plain olive green casserole, all at thrift stores. Mostly Pathways, family Pathways. So I've been very fortunate and found it very hard to pass them up. I don't think my brother had any green Pyrex that he had given me. I probably bought the light green one, hard to find, in the middle there. Crazy Daisy, I think that's called. Probably bought that in an antique shop or whatever, because, like I said, they're hard to find. The pressed glass dark emerald green patterns are so cute. Sandwich glass. I have a few pieces like that. They're just from the thrift stores. These bowls were my mother's. She had the square plates and cups and saucers, and I just could not keep all that. I tried for a while. I believe my brother had it, and he gave it to me. This is a uranium glass plate that I had in the window that I have shown to you guys. I'll get the black light here and show you again. Definitely uranium glass. And I'll go up above here too, because I have another adorable little dish. It has a strawberry pattern on it. I'm not sure what you would call a dish like that. Just for putting, I don't know if it's got a strawberry pattern on it. But it's the sweetest little dish that was in a thrift store. Quite a surprise to find. This is a depression glass, tiny, tiny little. I believe it was $3 maybe. I don't know why that sticks in my head, but found it a couple years ago. I'm wondering, do you know if something like this could be a child's, part of a child's dish set? Like a little canister. That's what I think. It is very, very small. I talked about finding this extremely cheap for a few dollars. It is a very fancy spooner. They called it antique. different pattern on this side, star pattern and a floral pattern there, and I did show it in the thrift video. I talked about it, so it would be a spring thrift video that I had done. This looks like a Fenton button and daisy. I think that's Fenton. Sweetest little dollar tiny glass baskets. I find them every once in a while. These are easy to find, pressed glass like that. And the goblet. And this is also a very tiny canister, just like the other one. So little, it was only $1. Can't believe it. I don't know if this one, if I checked this darling little sugar bowl. Is that a part of a child set too? I don't know. It's too big to me to be a toothpick holder. There is a creamer that matches it. I found it in clear glass. So maybe that's a child's one, but let me try. Nope, see? It looks like it because it's so limey green. But these were my mother's bowls in back. And it has the, is that Fire King? The shield and an F in the middle of it in the bottoms of all those bowls. And I had purchased this one, beautiful, in an antique shop. My brother gave me twice as many as those on the other end down there. My mother really had a lot of them. And I found these two depression glass, this creamer and sugar, way different times. They are not the same pattern. A lot of you are very familiar with the patterns. I did not look it up. I'm sure if you collect this lovely depression glass, you are familiar with them. But I didn't care for the ridiculous price that I paid for them in a thrift store. I was willing to take them. It certainly adds some fun for out here. Found this old butter dish at a thrift store. I wish the lid was on it, but things like that get broken. I still use it. Very sweet little great pattern. This was, I don't know, 50 cents was it? It was crazy. Just found it in our last trip to Hutchinson, Wisconsin, Hutchinson, Minnesota, antique mall there in Main Street. I've had these glasses for a very long time. We used to have even more of them. Cute little swan there, and this was $3. This large, extra large measuring cup. Found that last summer in a thrift store. This was very sweet, and this was marked down from $27 to $18. This beautiful owl picture. I did share that on Instagram. What's really funny about these goblets is I had one and didn't even realize it. It was sitting on the shelving here as I had already started getting ready. And we went to Bibles for Missions, I think, and found 3 of them for 75 cents each. Odd number 3. Well, I wanted them anyways because I thought they would be great out here, mixed in with these many shades of green. And so I set them out, and then I was just kind of looking around on this shelf up here, arranging things, and here was one sitting down in the end. I thought, I got so excited. I said, Norm, I can't believe this. I only had one of these. Now I have 4. 75 cents each. The other one from a different thrift store was probably $1. These were my mother's bowls also. I do take them out for Christmas. So that is all the green glass, and this is just what I have along here. Lots of sets I found really cheap. I hated to pass them up because I knew they're just wonderful for spring in the kitchen here. So I do have like maybe 2 sets of each of those. I did not realize this when I bought it last year, that it's probably the Crazy Daisy pattern. This was very reasonable picture. It's just much newer, of course, 70s compared to these. Very nice ones. Norm didn't think this one was so exciting, but when you add it to other leafy green pictures, you obviously are going to have another beautiful color. It was quite different. This I was really happy to find. Probably didn't excite Norm that much either. He just likes things so colorful that he doesn't see quite the value, but I think it's gorgeous. In marvelous condition. This one, of course, he really liked because it's nautical. Very sweet. I don't really like putting things in them to show you. I think they look just fine. Showing the hole all the way through to the back side. So up here, there's just some of the casseroles I've either thrifted, pretty much so. I doubt that I've been buying them. I just don't want to spend the money on, at antique shops. I just don't want to spend the money on them. And in some of my videos, I recently have shown you all the crafts, but I know I hear every day from new subscribers, so I'm showing it again, and I apologize for how long these videos get. I normally split up a kitchen video and a dining room video because I just hate to have them that long, but it seems to be working very nicely lately for us. People are being wonderful and watching the videos longer, and that's important for us. We really appreciate that you're actually taking the time to watch it for longer periods of time. These are some of the sweet crocheted pot holders, hot pads. I think they're probably called hot pads more than have I been calling them pot holders. I don't know, tell you the truth, which one is more appropriate. But those two match. That's quite a springy green one. These two don't match, but they're very close. This one is very fun. Looked like a lot of work to me. And that's a tiny one. And this was also from the pink squirrel. I forget what it was, but you know, any of those crazy mushroom things are really, really hot. I have this olive green, very large nesting hen soup terrain that is California pottery. So I'm not sure if it's a 60s or 70s item, but it actually had a metal candle stand, a warming stand for it. I didn't know when I purchased it at the Pink Squirrel monthly sale. We enjoy going there in Wisconsin, and I found it for only $12. I thought it was quite fun. to have on top of the refrigerator here because it's a large showy piece. Of course, all these large showy pieces that I have they're very fun, but they're quite a challenge to store. But this one, I had no idea that it was selling on the internet. They've got quite a few of them in brown. I like the green one much better, but those are the only two colors I've seen. And they are asking $45, as much as $45 for it without that warming stand, and like 69 something with the warming stand. So I still think $12 was really an excellent price. Over here, I have some fun lucite things to show you. These I've had for years. I just found this very well known, I think it's by Color Flow, one word, Color Flow with no W. They did a lot of lucite stuff that was pretty mod. This is a crazy mushroom, if you can't tell that. Anyways, I just found that somewhere for $3. I couldn't believe my eyes. It's just shocking. These I've had for a very long time, early in the 2000s when we first started loving lucite. I bought anything lucite that I could find. And they are pretty textured trivets. I have some others. I have a big one with a strawberry on it, and I completely forgot to show you in my February kitchen strawberry theme. I just found this absolutely adorable hobnail footed, tiny, sweet little pressed glass toothpick holder. And this was only $5 in Rogers Antique Mall, Rogers, Minnesota, that we have done 3 videos on. It's such a wonderful mall. Just wonderful. And I found that mug a long time ago. Last year, I found these in an antique shop way southern Minnesota, Harmony, Minnesota. A beautiful, beautiful Amish area. But they have a huge antique mall called Generations of Harmony, Minnesota, I think. I will put a note below on what the name of that is exactly if I didn't say it right. And just thrifted this single sweet little salt shaker in a Family Pathways, and it was so cheap, but because it didn't have its mate. But that is very 70s, little pyramid of green apples, it looks like. I always think that sweet little things like that, even though it's an individual salt or pepper, is just as cute all by itself. So as you can see, this is a crazy relish dish. They both have a niche in their hats for the spoon. I did have a spoon sticking out of there that I found to use for both of them. But that was a little bit of a splurge, but I knew they would be something that you would really enjoy seeing. Over here is another piece of lucite. Very 70s, the Bonnet Girl. Holly Hobby, everybody calls them Holly Hobby. At one time I had like 5 of them. Yellow, blues, reds, calico, prints. I've sold a lot of my lucite things that I collected in the early 2000s. Long time ago, sold them. I had them up as plaques, and of course you're supposed to be able to do that. It's called a spoon rest or a plaque. As you can see, she has an indentation in her hat. I don't know if the Bonnet Girl is as popular right now as it was when I was selling mine. Up here I took out 3 of my spring old vintage planters that had green on them. I have a lot of them that I showed in my very first spring kitchen video that so many people are still watching. I am very grateful for all the views for my very first, very amateur spring video. It is doing so well, and I have so many of these darling little planters on my shelving over there in that video for you to enjoy if you have not seen that yet. So I just dug through the bin today and pulled out the green ones. And this is a nice pair. They're not, the same color scheme, same colors, but not the way they chose the flower and the borders, and they're just kind of opposite, but they certainly go together well. So I thought those were cool. They're the only ones I have up right now that have black trim, so they go great with that old reticulated metal shelf. And that is a new collection for me this past summer, the spice tins. Very new. I found them for an average of like $3.50 each. Some were a little higher, some were a little lower. But they're fun. These are the crocheted hot pads. Yeah, I don't know what you want me to call them. I'm sorry. Pot holders, hot pads. So darling. Very lovely green and orange ones. They look a little gold, but it's quite orange. I have a good collection of orange ones. Mostly they seem to be in green and white. This one is wonderful. One of my favorite, I'd say. Isn't that great? Never seen that pattern before. I always tell Norm I can hear him swallowing all the time. It's a little embarrassing when you do all this talking and it's very quiet in here because we've shut the furnace off. So I'm sorry, I have to swallow once in a while. It's hard to cut them out, I do try, but if you're showing something, it's not always easy. This is one of my favorite too. I've got quite a few owl ones. This is the only green owl I have. That is actually a pale green gingham check on his belly, but it's so faded. Too bad. But he's pretty cute. I haven't wanted to sell my owl ones. I've still got a big collection of, all these flowers and very cool lucite napkin holders. Kind of hard to let go of them because Norm and I both really like them. I just found this on sale in an antique shop where I got the pig. It was half price. It was quite cheap. I can't remember, but well worth it. Because it does say really small down here. The Cremette Company, Minneapolis, Minnesota. And this is an old tin. So it makes a fun utensil holder. I have 3 placemats that I found at the thrift store in a lovely dark green. They're quite small, so they're more fun to use out here in the kitchen. I've got the other 2 behind me turned over, but this was a bandana print. So I just left that under my mixer. And these are Chromex. I wish I had more of the set, but these were the only 2 I found many years ago. It is a metal bottom and a plastic top. Very fun flower print. Probably 60s, I don't know. I think metal. I think in the 70s they might have started making them more in plastic. Those harder plastic ones. So there's just one of my orange juice pitchers, ice lip pitchers. Thought I'd stick out there for you. Over here in my window, again, I have so many of these wonderful pressed glass little creamers. This one is quite large. The snow is melting outside. Our tall clumps of sky racer grass have finally been beaten down by the snow and softened up enough where they got broken down. So as soon as it gets a little drier out there, Norm will go out and cut all that down and throw it in the wheelbarrow, and then, sorry, it's starting to go out of focus. Throw it in the wheelbarrow and haul it up to our big trailer. We have a wonderful big aluminum garden trailer that we throw all of our debris in and take it over to recycling. Here's the other side of those two placemats. Aren't they cute? I love having a little placemat under things like that. I just had to share this with you. So sweet. I found it in a thrift store. I just wanted to show you the label on the back. That, to me, it looks like the Joseph Originals label. It was always script. Such a fancy label. What do you think? But it was only $1.60 at the Goodwill. So cute for your tea bag. He's not saying ribbit, he's saying dribbit. Drip it. Very funny. I couldn't figure out what that meant at first. Took me a little bit. Oh, yes, it's supposed to sound like ribbit. So silly. Well, here's the last item I'll show you. I found two of last year. George, is it L. Lefton or George something Lefton on the bottom, 1988. They are the same kind of wonderful china mugs that we use every day. So I was pretty happy to find two of those. So that is the kitchen shelving. I wish I could have changed the red phone. It actually, when we bought this house, there was a trim line phone on the wall there, and I can't remember what color it was. It was probably beige, tan, because this whole house was beige. But my brother gave me that red phone, and so we're covering up the big hole in the wall to hook up a phone. Someday maybe we'll run across a different color. Even a cream would be okay. But for now, that's all I've got there. But I hope you enjoyed seeing all the green. I hope you're seeing more green out your window like we are. We're very, very happy that the temps have been warm. We really got some rain yesterday, and unbelievable. Well, it's March 11th. It was a thunderstorm last night, right at dinner time, and a tornado warning in Minnesota, a little south of us. Yeah, wow. In the area where we go antiquing a lot, Cannon Falls, Norm said. I didn't catch it on the news, but he did. But that's crazy. Yeah, we had a little of everything and lots of snow up towards Duluth, northern Minnesota, as much as 11 plus inches further north. Duluth probably got 7, but isn't that crazy? All the way from tornadoes, thunder, lightning here in the middle of the state, and then up north, all that snow. Oh boy, March is crazy. But they said it came in like a lamb. It was very mild. So I can hardly wait to see what happens when March goes out. I hope you have a wonderful spring, and I thank you again so much for watching our videos. You are all so kind, and we really, really appreciate you so much. We love it if you'd leave some comments. Please subscribe. Hit the notification bell for all. It would be wonderful if we could contact you by, just sending out a post now and then or a survey. That would be great. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.